So Ghost of Tsushima is a game that is coming out tomorrow. And of course, this game has a award score in The Last of Us Part 2. This is proof that game critics are just a bunch of idiots, okay? The fact that this game has a lower score than all of, The Last of Us Part 2, which has a 95%, but this game, which a lot of people are saying this game is probably better than The Last of Us Part 2, is worse than The Last of Us Part 2. Okay, it goes to Tsushima. I looked at the trailers, and it looks beautiful. The game looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous. There is, the combat's probably pretty good, and the last PS4 exclusive comes out tomorrow, and stands among the ranks of other PS4 exclusives, including The Last of Us Part 2, only according to the critics, of course, which are, even though this game is probably on another level compared to Abby Golf Simulator, okay, which, Ghost of Tsushima is probably gonna get a very high score once the fan scores come in for this game. Unlike The Last of Us Part 2, this game probably get a very high fan scores, unlike The Last of Us Part 2, but this game will probably be, snubbed for Game of the Year awards and stuff because it has 10% lower score than The Last of Us Part 2. And they'll probably get handed to The Last of Us Part 2 and say, oh my god, it's a masterpiece. Okay? But it's a PS4 game that's a little too familiar with. It's a bad thing, according to us. It emulates classic samurai films from Akira Kurosawa. And this game is the last PS4 exclusive. Because all the following games will be on the PS5 as well. And this game has been delayed multiple times, I think, as well. And now the game is finally here. It's coming out on July 13th release date. Won't be surprised if it does come out on the PS5 as well. But yep, the game had an 84 on Metacritic because there's no other review aggregate sites for games. So Ghost of Tsushima has an 84 on Metacritic currently. And of course, there are all of the critics. Some of these critics saying, "Oh, it's not that great." The Last of Us Part 2 is better because it had Abby's golf simulator. It had Abby. This game doesn't have wokeness in the game, okay? And I started out with like this. Oh, it's not The Last of Us Part 2. This is The Last of Us Part 2. It's not, Oh, it's, Last of Us Part 2 is better. Hey, it's cultural appropriation. Okay, that's another thing to complain about this game. This game is cultural appropriation. I can go about how beautiful this game looks. How the combat is. Pretty okay. It's actually pretty great in this game, better than The Last of Us Part 2's game. But yep, it's one of the best games of the year according to this guy, Gaming Aids. And I wouldn't be surprised if this game has a much higher score than The Last of Us Part 2. But then they'll go say, oh, but they give this game a 10 out of 10. This game is about cultural appropriation. This game's made by, Sony of America. Because, of course, Sony moved their studio to California instead of Japan. Okay? And end of era PS4 exclusives ends up an absolute highlight. So, yep. Ghost of Tsushima is considered a masterpiece already. Okay? Way better than The Last of Us Part 2. Okay? Way better than that game. Okay? But, of course, the critics give it a lower score. Typical critics. That's basically it. Goodbye.